Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudiraye Nashtaprayeshu Abhadreshu Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya Bhagavati Ruttama-shloke Bhaktir Bhavati Naishtiki Om Agyana Timirandasya Jnana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Sri Gurave Namaha Sri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshtaya Bhutale Śrīmade Bhakti-vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jaya Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. By His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. We are reading from Canto 3, Chapter 28, Kapila's instructions on devotional service. So we are in the section 19 to 33, where there is description of the limbs of the Supreme Form, Supreme Lord, so that one can do very detailed dhyana. So we come to text 24. Uru Suparna Bhujayor Adishobhamana Ojo Nidhi Ati Atasika Kusuma Bhabhasam Vyalambita Varavarasi Vartamana Kanchi Kalapa Paririmbhinitam Babimbam. Translation.
Next, the yogi should fix his mind in meditation on the personality of Godhead's thighs, the storehouse of all energy. The Lord's thighs are whitish blue, like the luster of the linseed flower, and appear most graceful when the Lord is carried on the shoulders of Garuda. Also, the yogi should contemplate his rounded hips, which are encircled by a girdle that rests on the exquisite yellow silk cloth that extends down to his ankles. Purport. The personality of Godhead is the reservoir of all strength, and his strength rests on the thighs of his transcendental body. His whole body is full of opulences, all riches, all strength, all fame, all beauty, all knowledge, and all renunciation. The yogi is advised to meditate upon the transcendental form of the Lord, beginning from the soles of the feet and then gradually rising to the knees, to the thighs, and finally arriving at the face. The system of meditating on the Supreme Personality of Godhead begins from his feet. The description of the transcendental form of the Lord is exactly represented in the Archa Vigraha, the statue in the temples. Generally, the lower part of the body of the statue of the Lord is covered with yellow silk. That is the Vaikuntha dress, or the dress the Lord wears in the spiritual sky. This cloth extends down to the Lord's ankles. Thus, since the yogi has so many transcendental objectives on which to meditate, there is no reason for his meditating on something imaginary, as is the practice of the so-called yogis whose objective is impersonal. Hare Krishna.
After meditating the lotus feet of the Lord, beautiful nails of the Supreme Lord, now there is a recommendation. After meditating on the feet, now there is a recommendation on meditating on the thighs of the Supreme Lord. One should fix the mind on meditating on the thighs of the Supreme Lord, which are the storehouse of all energy. And you will see typically the thighs and arms are supposed to be the storehouse of energy. And that's why, when the Pailwans, they will, they come in the arena, they will be hitting their thighs, showing that the strength. So this comes from the energy stored in the thighs and the arms. And then one should meditate on the rounded hips, which are girdled by the wrist with the yellow silken cloth extends down to his ankles. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the Supreme Lord is Bhagavan, and there are 6 opulences: Aishwaryasya Samagrasya, Viryasya Yashasya Shriya, Jnana Vairagya Yuschaiva. And all these 6 opulences are also present in the personality of Godhead. What a beautiful point here, right? In the material world, the personality and opulences may be different. The personality may not reflect the opulences. Okay. Just like, for example, of course, don't want to take this example, but there was a billionaire who was a very good well-wisher of ISKCON anyways, and that's why I'm not taking the name. But having approximately $5 billion of wealth at the age of 66, 67, he was not able to even... So the opulence is not reflected in the body, right? But the personality of Godhead, opulence is reflected in the body. This is such an important point. 6 opulences in the body of the Supreme Lord, in the personality of the Supreme Lord. And the thighs, they are representing especially the strength, and the face will represent the supreme beauty of the personality. So this is how the meditation begins, and begins from the soles of the feet, gradually rising to the knees, thighs, and face. And Prabhupada says the yogi has so many objects to meditate on, and thus one should not do the mistake on, there is no reason for meditating on something void or zero, right? One has clear indications where one should be meditating on. Text 25. Nabhirudham bhuvana kosha guhodarastam yatratma yoni dhishana khilaloka padmam vyudam harinmani vrishastanayo stanayoramushya dhyayedvayam vishadaharamyukha gauram. Translation?
Translation: the yogi should then meditate on his moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. From his navel, which is the foundation of the entire universe, sprang the lotus stem containing all the different planetary systems. The lotus is the residence of Brahma, the first created being. In the same way, the yogi should concentrate his mind on the Lord's nipples, which resemble a pair of most exquisite emeralds and which appear whitish because of the rays of the milk-white pearl necklaces adorning his chest. Purport: the yogi is advised next to meditate upon the navel of the Lord, which is the foundation of all material creation. Just as a child is connected to his mother by the umbilical cord, so the firstborn living creature, Brahma, by the supreme will of the Lord, is connected to the Lord by a lotus stem. In the previous verse, it was stated that the goddess of fortune, Lakshmi, who engages in massaging the legs, ankles, and thighs of the Lord, is called the mother of Brahma. But actually, Brahma is born from the abdomen of the Lord, not from the abdomen of his mother. These are inconceivable conceptions of the Lord, and one should not think materially, how can the father give birth to a child? It is explained in the Brahma Samhita that each limb of the Lord has the potency of every other limb because everything is spiritual. His parts are not conditioned. The Lord can see with his ears. The material ear can hear but cannot see. But we understand from the Brahma Samhita that the Lord can also see with his ears and hear with his eyes. Any organ of his transcendental body can function as any other organ. His abdomen is the foundation of all the planetary system. Brahma holds the post of the creator of all planetary systems, but his engineering energy is generated from the abdomen of the Lord. Any creative function in the universe always has a direct connecting link with the Lord. The necklace of pearls which decorate the upper portion of the Lord's body is also spiritual, and therefore the yogi is advised to gaze at the whitish luster of the pearls decorating his chest. Hare Krishna.
The yogi then advised to meditate on the moon-like navel in the center of his abdomen. And this is where Kunti Maharani begins her prayers. Namo Pankajanabhaya. Right. So this is the Pankajanabhi, and the Lord is called as Pankajanabhi, Padmanabha. Because this is the level from which this is the foundation of entire universe. From there comes a lotus, and on the lotus there is a resonance of Brahma. And then one should concentrate on the beautiful pair of the necklace that the Lord is wearing. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that the yogi is advised to meditate on Nabhi of the Supreme Lord. Now, slightly moving up when it comes to the Nabhi of the Supreme Lord. So, just like the child is connected to the mother through the cord, similarly, Lord Brahma and the universe is connected to the Supreme Lord through his Nabhi. And Prabhupada says this is little inconceivable to understand. Brahma is called as Swayambhu because he takes birth without a mother. And how can father directly give birth to a child without a mother is materially impossible, but material imposition should not be extended to the spiritual personality of Godhead. This is very, very important. This is where there is a, therefore Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says, unless we accept the achintya Shakti of the Supreme Lord, there is always a chance that one will become atheistic in the due course of time or materialistic. Right? So people say, how your God is giving birth to a child? How can male give birth to a child? So these are extremely stupid questions, just displaying the ignorance of person who is asking. Why? Because he is projecting his own paradigm on something different and something far greater. Right? Example we have seen. Just like if we are toiling day and night to just pay some EMI of 50,000 rupees, then one will question, how can Mukesh Ambani gift his wife 700 crore aeroplane just for one birthday? Are Baba, your reality and his reality is different, right? So similarly, the Supreme Lord exists on a different plane, and that's why Prabhupada says that one should not think materially and project the material construct on the spiritual personality of Godhead. Another thing is Prabhupada quotes here Brahma Samhita, that the limbs of the Lord, they are different than our limbs. Angani yasya sakala indriya vrittimanti, that the Lord's limb, they can perform each other's activity. What is the meaning? Like, we can see through our eyes, we can hear through our ears. If we close our eyes and try very hard to see through ears, we cannot do, because our ears cannot function as an eye. But that is not the case with the Supreme Lord. The Supreme Lord will see through the ears and can hear through the eyes. That's how he accepts the bhoga through his eyes and converts it into prasadam. So one should not project one's limitation on the personality of Godhead. All the engineering that Brahmaji does sprouts from that lotus, and Brahma is empowered through that. And then Prabhupada says, then one should meditate on the necklace of the pearls that is wearing, that the Supreme Lord is wearing. That is also spiritual. And this is how one should advance one's meditation. Text 26. Vakshodivaasam rishabhasya mahavibhute Pumsam manonayanivratimadadhanam Kantam kaustubhamane adibhushanartham Kuryad manasikhiraloka namaskritasya. Translation.
The yogi should then meditate on the chest of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the abode of Goddess Mahalakshmi. The Lord's chest is the source of all transcendental pleasure for the mind and full satisfaction for the eyes. The yogi should then imprint on his mind the neck of the Personality of Godhead, who is adorned by the entire universe. The neck of the Lord serves to enhance the beauty of the Kaustubha gem, which hangs on his chest. Purport. In the Upanishads, it is said that the various energies of the Lord are working to create, destroy, and maintain. These inconceivable varieties of energy are stored in the bosom of the Lord. As people generally say, God is all powerful. The prowess is represented by Mahalakshmi, the reservoir of all energies, who is situated on the bosom of the transcendental form of the Lord. The yogi who can meditate perfectly on that spot on the transcendental form of the Lord can derive many material powers, which comprise the 8 perfections of the yoga system. It is stated herein that the beauty of the neck of the Lord enhances the beauty of the Kaustubha gem rather than vice versa. The gem itself becomes more beautiful because it is situated on the neck of the Lord. A yogi is therefore recommended to meditate upon the Lord's neck. The Lord's transcendental form can either be meditated upon in the mind or placed in a temple in the form of a statue and decorated in such a way that everyone can contemplate it. Temple worship is therefore meant for persons who are not so advanced that they can meditate upon the form of the Lord. There is no difference between constantly visiting the temple and directly seeing the transcendental form of the Lord. They are of equal value. The advantageous position of the yogi is that he can sit anywhere in a solitary place and meditate upon the form of the Lord. A less advanced person, however, has to go to the temple, and as long as he does not go to the temple, he is unable to see the form of the Lord. Either by hearing, seeing, or meditating, the objective is the transcendental form of the Lord. There is no question of voidness or impersonalism. The Lord can bestow the blessings of transcendental pleasure upon either the visitor of the temple, the meditator, medi- the, medi- the meditator yogi, or one who hears about the Lord's transcendental form from scriptures like Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam or Bhagavad Gita. There are 9 processes for executing devotional service, of which smaranam or meditation is one. Yogis take advantage of the process of smaranam, whereas bhakti yogis take special advantage of the process of hearing and chanting.
Next is the yogi should then meditate on the chest of the Supreme Lord. Now, what is the chest of the Supreme Lord? The chest of the Lord is abode of goddess of fortune. So there, Lakshmiji resides as Srivatsa. And then the source of all transcendental pleasure for the mind and full of satisfaction for the eyes. And this is the place Prabhupada writes, Parasya Shaktir Vividhaiva Shruyate. All the energies, they are stored in the chest of the Supreme Lord. And then one should meditate on the neck. And the neck of the Lord serves to enhance the beauty of the Kaustubha gem. Now look at this point. Generally, we wear the ornaments so that we look beautiful. But when Lord wears the ornament looks beautiful by being present on the Supreme Lord. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada writes that Upanishad describes that various energies of the Lord, Parasya Shaktir, they are working to create, destroy, and maintain, and all them are situated and in the chest of the Supreme Lord, where the sum total of the energy, that is Lakshmi, is residing, Mahalakshmi. And therefore, this Pravesh is represented by Mahalakshmi, the reservoir of all the energies. And Prabhupada says here that the yogis who can very perfectly meditate on the chest of the Supreme Lord will start attaining the yogic siddhis. Then, especially which are 18 numbers like Anima, Lakhima. So, this is they will attain the siddhi by right meditation on the Supreme Lord. So, Shakti is there within the Lord only, and they will receive that Shakti when they are connected with the Supreme. So there is no question of meditating on some void or impersonal. No, meditation has to be on the form of the Lord as recommended in the scriptures. Further, there is meditation on the neck of the Lord, and the neck is enhancing beauty of Kaustubha jewel, and not vice versa. Right. So now Prabhupada says, this is how the yogi meditates on the personality of Godhead. A person who is not so advanced in yoga, and frankly, nobody is so advanced in yoga. That one who is yama, niyama, perfect, who is perfect in yama, perfect in niyama, perfect in asana, perfect in pranayam, perfect in pratyahara, and perfect in dhyarana. And now we are coming to dhyana. Then the same benefit of meditating on the Supreme Lord is achieved by visiting the temple and taking darshan of the Supreme Lord. Right. Mind is very fickle. And we have seen previously that how the mind may slip anytime from the meditation. We have seen the meditation on the dhoti, that example we have seen, that, when he is meditating on the dhoti of the Lord, and one will remember, oh, where did I put my dhoti to dry? But when we go to temple, all our senses can be positively engaged. We will be smelling, the aroma of the flowers or tulsi offered to the Supreme Lord. We will be hearing the beautiful sounds of the kirtan. We will be, and then seeing the form of the Lord, and the meditation becomes very, very easy. And therefore, it is recommended for devotees to visit temple and take darshan of the Supreme Lord. So, in the Bhakti Yoga platform, taking darshan of the Supreme Lord is equal to, Prabhupada says, is equal to the dhyana process in the Ashtanga Marga. So, of the 9 processes, remembering the Supreme Lord, Smaranam, is meditation, and Smaranam is facilitated by taking darshan of the deities in the temple. And therefore, Prabhupada says the yogi should take advantage of the process of Smaranam, and the Bhakti yogi should take the special advantage of the darshan of the Supreme Lord. Very beautiful point. When we visit temple, it is equal to dhyana in the Ashtanga Yoga. What an accomplished yogi is going to do in the process of dhyana, one can simply do by visiting the temple and taking detailed darshan of the Supreme Lord. Such an important point it is. Text 27. And that's why you will see, of course, I am not following it, but just mentioning for the purpose of completion. Bhakti Rasamrit Maharaj recommends, he says that a devotee should stay near temple and should visit temple at least twice a day, thrice a day. Begins the day in the morning by visiting temple, taking darshan. Evening he will close the day by visiting temple, taking darshan. And this is how the life should be centered around deities, within the temple. So this is the traditional life. Text 27. Bahunश्च मन्दरगिरे परिवर्ततेन निर्णिक्तबाहुवलयान् अधिलोकपालान् सञ्चिन्तयेत् दशशतरम् असंयतेज शङ्खं च तत्करसरोरुहराजहंसम्. Translation.
The yogi should further meditate upon the Lord's forearms, which are the source of all the powers of the demigods who control the various functions of material nature. Then the yogi should concentrate on the polished ornaments which were burnished by Mount Mandara as it revolved. He should also duly contemplate the Lord's discs, the Sudarshan Chakra, which contains 1,000 spokes and a dazzling luster, as well as the conch, which looked like a swan in his lotus-like palm. Purport: all departments of law and order emanates from the arms of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The law and order of the universe is directed by different demigods, and it is here said to emanate from the Lord's arms. Mandara Hill is mentioned here because when the ocean was churned by the demons on one side and the demigods on the other, Mandara Hill was taken as the churning god, as the churning rod. The Lord in his tortoise incarnation became the pivot for the churning rod, and thus his ornaments were polished by the churning Mandara Hill. In other words, the ornaments on the arms of the Lord are as brilliant and lustrous as they had been polished very recently. The wheel in the hand of the Lord, called the Sudarshan Chakra, has 1,000 spokes. The yogi is advised to meditate upon each of the spokes. He should meditate upon each and every one of the component parts of the transcendental form of the Lord. Hare Krishna.
Then the yogi should meditate on the Lord's forearms. So what are there in the forearms of the Lord? Is the Vishnu Murti, Shankha, Chakra, Gada, and Padma. So Gada will be mentioned in the next verse. Kaumudikim cha bhagavato daitam smareta. So here, now, the powerful arms of the Lord This is the potency. This is where the potency of all the demigods reside within. Then one should meditate on the Bahubandha, or the ornaments of the Supreme Lord, which are polished by Mandara Hill, Mandara Mountain, when it revolved in the Samudra Manthan. Beautiful. And then one should duly contemplate on the Sudarshan disc, chakra, which has the 1,000 spokes and the dazzling luster. And then one should meditate on the conch of the Supreme Lord, which looks like Rajahamsa sitting in the hand of the Supreme Lord. What a beautiful analogy it is, right? So if you remember first canto, Lord Krishna's return to Dwaraka, and when this conch is taken, and when the conch is been blown, right? There's a beautiful verse. Tomorrow we'll recite that verse. You know that the lotus white conch and Lord's pinkish lips and the pink radiance on the the white conch, and that creates such an amazing atmosphere, and the sound of the conch, right? So this conch is called as Rajahamsa here. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada explains that all the departments of law and order, they reside within arms of the Supreme Lord, and therefore arms are represented as Kshatriya because they are taking care of law and order. The ornaments of the Supreme Lord, they were always very polished. Why? Because they were polished in one incarnation when Lord became Kurma avatar, and the Mandara became the churning rod between the Samudra Manthan, and by churning of the the Mandara mountain, Lord's ornaments were polished. So this is how the Lord can perform multiple activities during his one Leela, right? One pastime and so many activities. It is said that that one pastime of Samudra Manthan, Lord Kurma avatar, he breathed. So because of the breathing of the Lord, there were the constant waves in the ocean. Then he created itch on the back, and by itch on the back, when Mandara mountain was being churned, the itch of the back was being that khujlified by the Mandara mountain, and then Lord satisfaction, and by creating that itch, he gave the sukruti to both the demons and the demigods, right? He created a seva, he created an itch, and that itch was pacified by the churning of Mandara mountain, and that's how they said, who pacified that? Demigods, demon. Okay, give them some devotional service, give them some credit, they did seva, right? And then next is he did something for them, something for, and himself also, he polished his own ornaments. Okay, so what a beautiful it is. He polished his own ornaments also. So this is how when the Lord performs one activity, he will attain the multiple results within one activity. Then one should concentrate on the Sahasrara. This is the Sudarshan Chakra of the Supreme Lord. So Sudarshan Chakra has the Sahasra Ara. Ara means the spokes, and yogi is supposed to concentrate on each of the spoke, right? Because dhyana is their most important process, and they are supposed to go with 1, 2, 3, 996, 997, 998, 999, and 1,000th spoke of the Sudarshan Chakra, and each has its own significance. Later, in the pastime of Ambarish Maharaj, there are beautiful prayers offered to Sudarshan Chakra. So he is praying to Sudarshan Chakra, and there we will discuss more about Chakra. And then there is a Rajahamsa, who is sitting on the hand of the Supreme Lord, that is Shankha. Shankha we have already discussed in the first canto, 8th chapter. So this is how one should meditate on Shankha, Chakra, Gada and Padma. Then we come to text 28. Kaumodakим bhagavato daitam smareta digdhamarati bhata shonita kardamena malam madhuvratavarutha giram giropagrishnam chaityasya tattvamamalam manimasya kanthe. Translation.
The yogi should meditate upon his club, which is named Kaumoduki and is very dear to him. This club smashes the demons who are always inimical soldiers and is smeared with their blood. One should also concentrate on the nice garland on the neck of the Lord, which is always surrounded by bumblebees, with their nice buzzing sound, and one should meditate upon the pearl necklace on the Lord's neck, which is considered to represent the pure living entities who are always engaged in his service. Purport: the yogi must contemplate the different parts of the transcendental body of the Lord. Here it is stated that the constitutional position of the living entities should be understood. There are two kinds of living entities mentioned here. One is called the Arati. They are averse to understanding the pastimes of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. For them, the Lord appears with his with his hand clutching the terrible mace, which is always smeared with the bloodstains from his killing of demons. Demons are also sons of Supreme Personality of Godhead. As stated in Bhagavad Gita, all the different species of living entities are sons of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There are, however, two classes of living entities who act in two different ways. The Supreme Lord keeps on his neck those living entities who are pure, as one protects the jewels and pearls on the bosom and neck of one's body. Those living entities in pure Krishna consciousness are symbolized by the pearls of his neck. Those who are demons and are inimical towards the pastimes of Supreme Personality of Godhead are punished by his mace, which is always smeared with blood of such fallen living entities. The club of Lord is very dear to him because he uses this instrument to smash the bodies of the demons and mix their blood. As mud is needed with water and earth, so the earthly bodies of the enemies of the Lord or the atheists are smashed by the club of the Lord, which becomes muddied with the blood of such demons.
The next is Kaumudikim Bhagavato Daitam Smareta. So look at the word Daita. Daita means very, very dear. Very, very dear is Kaumuduki, which is the Gada, the mess of the Supreme Lord. He uses this mess to smash the demons who are inimical, and therefore the mess, the Gada, Kaumuduki, is always smeared with their blood of the demons. And then one should meditate on the nice garland the Lord is wearing, around which the bumblebees are always humming. And the nice garland represents the pure living entities who are engaged in the service of the Supreme Lord. In the purport, Srila Prabhupada says, this is how the yogi should contemplate advance his contemplation. And now one should meditate on the Kaumudiki and the garland. So there are two types of living entities: those who have developed rati towards the pastimes of the Lord, and those who have developed a rati, or they have not yet developed the rati. So there are demons and the demigods. So for the demigods, the Lord comes with a smile and the Padma flower, and for the demons, he comes with Kaumuduki, the mess, and the destruction. This is just like the teacher entering the the class. Teacher will enter with a smile and also stick in the hand. Same teacher, but he also has a smile and also has a stick, based on behavior of the students. Similarly, based on the behavior of the living entity, largely into two categories, Devata and demons, the Lord has two different interaction, but one same intent of doing always good to everyone. So that is the same intent, right? We have seen that mother's lap or mother's kiss, they have the same intention of doing ultimate good to the child. And this is the club, and this club is very dear to the Lord, because the Lord is using the club to actually, why it is dear? Because the Lord is using the club, and the club is smashing and destroying the body. But what happens after Lord smashes the club? The living entity, paramapureta, the living entity is completely liberated. So for the club is like passport, where the living entity can directly go back to Godhead. Even the living entity may be extremely demoniac. So we will conclude here and continue tomorrow. Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Gaura Bhakta Vrinda ki jai. Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhupada. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna. Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.